comes to HMDA and bridge loans, there can be a lot of tricky scenarios. Let's talk through them today. Hi, Dave Dickinson with Bankers Compliance Consulting. First off, let's define what a bridge loan is. It's not really a defined term in the Regulation C, but it's commonly understood that it's the gap financing between the purchase of the new and the sale of the old. That gap, that's what we call the bridge or swing loans. So let's do some scenarios here and talk about how you'd report these for HMDA. Imagine that you have a customer that is going to borrow 80% financing on their new house. You might take the collateral in their new and their existing, that's fine, but that's a purchase. But you're also going to take a lien on their existing home, and you're going to do that, let's say, in-house, so that you can help them with their down payment because they don't have enough cash to meet the 20%. It's an 80-10-10 loan, we like to call these things. How do you report that second loan if it's reported at all? Well, it's going to be a short-term, not temporary, short-term purchase. When their house sells, they will get the equity out of that and they'll pay you off. It's done. There's not two phases. There's one phase, short-term, therefore it's reported as a purchase. Now let's change that up just a little bit. Let's say that they have that 80% financing and that's a purchase, but the equity in their house isn't enough to come up with the 20%. So you decide to do a two-phase financing. One is going to be short-term and it's going to be secured by their current dwelling. When it sells, you'll pay that loan down, but probably not have enough equity for the entire down payment. So you'll do a second loan that will replace that bridge loan. So now we have two phases. HMDA says anytime you have two-phase financing, we don't want the first phase. Let's call that temporary. Then we report the second phase. What's that second phase reported as? A purchase. Right? They're both purchases. They were both needed to purchase the new dwelling. This one doesn't come up very often, but scenario number 3 would be, I have enough equity in my current dwelling that I can completely buy this new place, but I don't have the liquidity. So I come to you and I say, I just need a bridge loan to, when my house sells, we'll be done. I've got enough equity, maybe I own it free and clear, or I'm downsizing, but I have enough equity that I just need this bridge loan from you. How is that reported? That's a short term or is it a temporary loan? And the answer is that's reported as a short-term purchase. We might call that a bridge loan, but it's one phase. Temporary financing under HMDA has to be two phases for it to not be reported. Now, scenario number 4, I'm going to get a little bit deeper and trickier on this. Let's imagine that you had a bridge loan that you reported as a purchase, like back to scenario number 1, but their house doesn't sell. And so you renew that, and you renew that, you extend it, you keep going, and we have temporary followed by temporary, and finally the senior loan officer comes and says, look, we've got to amortize this out. What are you going to do? What are you going to call that? You said that you already reported that as a purchase, but now you find out that it's really phase 1 of a second phase. Were you wrong to report that first loan? And is the second loan a purchase? That's a tricky situation. Now I'm going to give you a phrase. HMDA is an application regulation. I'll say it again. HMDA is an application regulation. When you went into this application, this is what you understood was going to happen. Sometimes things change. You shouldn't be penalized because something changed on you later. We thought that their house would sell. We thought we'd have enough equity and that we would just be done with this loan. So it didn't qualify as temporary. It was short term. We reported it as a purchase, but then something else happened. You're not wrong. Now, so therefore that first loan is okay to report as a purchase. What about this new loan where you make maybe a 5 or 10 or 15-year amortization to work it out? What do you call that? Is that a purchase as well? And I would say yes. If you had known that you were going into this as a temporary followed by permanent, we would have called that a purchase. Some people might like to say that's a refinance. I'm okay with that too. You could say we reported as a purchase, now we're going to refinance that loan. And it meets the definition of refinance. There's really 2 schools of camp. I can defend either one of those. My suggestion is when you have those types of things, be consistent in how you report them. I hope this helps in a very confusing area We've got several webinars on HMDA. I also love to talk about them. If you want to email or call us, we'd love to get into the weeds and discuss these types of things. Thanks for watching.